In this video, we're looking at how to use the relative pronoun in Arabic. However, not simply any use of the relative pronoun, but the use of the relative pronoun when the noun in the main clause is definite. Relative pronouns are a type of pronoun that connects the main clause of a sentence with a subordinate clause in the same sentence. Some examples of these relative pronouns are alladhi, allati, and alladhina, and I'm sure you've seen these before in your study of Arabic. However, here we're going to look in a little more detail at how they're used. These can be translated into English in a number of ways, such as who, whom, whose, by whom, with whom, from whom, about whom, that, etc. There are a number of ways to translate alladhi, allati, and alladina into English. The way we translate these into English will depend on how they are used in the sentence, in the main clause, connecting to the subordinate clause. We'll look at some examples, but before that, let's review the indefinite. Previously, we had looked at how to form the adjective clause when the noun before the clause is indefinite. For example, li akhun yusa'iduni fi kulli shay. I have a brother who helps me in everything. Akhun here is indefinite, and so we don't put alladhi after akhun. Rather, we simply introduce the subordinate clause directly. Now, interestingly, in English, we do the same thing, but with the definite, and we'll explain how that works. Another example is سمعت محاضرة أثارت اهتمامي بالأدب العربي. I heard a lecture which sparked my interest in Arabic literature. So here's محاضرة is indefinite. We don't say محاضرة التي أثارت اهتمامي بالأدب العربي. We can do away with the relative pronoun when the noun in the main clause that is connected to the subordinate clause is indefinite. Here's an example, though, in which we do need to use the relative pronoun. قرأت الكتاب الذي أعطيته لي أمس. Here, الكتاب is definite. الكتاب, the book. I read the book. Now, because we have a subordinate clause connected to al-kitab, we have to use a relative pronoun, and this has to accord with the gender and the number of that noun. So here, al-kitab is masculine singular, so we're going to use alladhi, which is masculine and singular. قرأت الكتاب الذي. I read the book which. Now, the question is, how does this book connect to the subordinate clause? I.e., what is the place of the book in the subordinate clause? That's where the pronoun in Arabic comes in. I read the book which you gave it to me yesterday. قرأت الكتاب الذي أعطيته لي أمس. Now, if we look at the translation here, I read the book which you gave it to me yesterday, we can say that this is awkward in English. We don't need the it. However, in Arabic, we do need the pronoun to indicate what the connection is between the main clause and the subordinate clause. I read the book which you gave it to me yesterday. We can more easily say, I read the book you gave to me yesterday, and that's perfectly legitimate in English. Notice that we dropped the it, and because in English, when the noun is definite, we can drop the relative pronoun, we drop the which as well. I read the book you gave to me yesterday. Here's another example. أعرف البنت التي كنت معها أمس. I know the girl. Here we go. Al-bint is definite. Al-bint, I know the girl. Now, because al-bint is definite, the relative pronoun that we use has to be feminine and singular, because al-bint is feminine and singular. So allati is what we use with al-bint, but notice here that we have to have a pronoun in the subordinate clause that connects ma'aha. That ha connects to the girl. I know the girl you were with, the girl whom you were with yesterday. I know the girl whom you were with yesterday. Notice in English we say whom and not who, because whom represents an object. Whom represents an object, the object of ma, or with whom. So here I say, I know the girl whom you were with yesterday. But again, we can shorten this. And we can simply say, I know the girl you were with yesterday. Let's look at one final example. هم الأشخاص الذين سمحنا لهم بالذهاب معنا في الرحلة. Here we have a plural. هم الأشخاص. They are the ones. Now, because al-ashkhas is masculine and plural, we need a relative pronoun that is masculine and plural, because al-ashkhas is definite. So we have al-ladhina. Hum al-ashkhas al-ladhina. Now, how does it connect to our subordinate clause? We need a pronoun. Here we have hum, lahum. Hum al-ashkhas al-ladhina samahna lahum بالذهاب معنا في الرحلة. They are the ones whom we permitted to go with us on the trip. We can translate it here. They are the people, or they are the ones to whom we gave permission. Lahum, to whom we gave permission to go with us on the trip. Here we can now summarize some of what we've learned. When a noun is modified by an adjective clause and the noun is indefinite, then no relative pronoun is needed in Arabic. When a noun is modified by an adjective clause and the noun is definite, then a relative pronoun is used. And finally, the most common relative pronouns you will see are alladhi, allati, and alladina. We have a part 2 in which we'll discuss some more aspects of the relative pronoun in Arabic. مع السلامة.